Welcome my viewers to this channel. I feel humbled by your keen following on spiritual insights and its effect on our daily life. Today I will look at the story of the flood in Genesis 7-9 as one of the most powerful narratives in the Bible. It spans the destruction of the earth by a flood and the subsequent covenant between God and humanity. It contains deep theological insights and offers lessons that still resonate in the present world. Let's walk through these chapters, understand their key messages, and explore how they relate to today's society. Genesis 7 marks the beginning of the flood. God instructs Noah, a righteous man, to enter the ark along with his family and pairs of every living creature. Noah obediently follows God's command, and the rains begin. For 40 days and 40 nights, the earth is deluged with water, covering even the highest mountains. The waters prevail on the earth for 150 days, wiping out all life except those aboard the ark. My viewers, the key takeaway from this chapter is obedience and faith. Noah follows God's instructions without question. In the face of impending disaster, he does not rely on his own understanding but trusts in God's plan. This aspect of faith in the face of adversity is something that remains relevant today. In this modern world, we are often faced with challenges and uncertainties, whether it's environmental crises, pandemics, or personal struggles. The story of Noah teaches us the value of trusting a higher purpose and acting on faith even when the path ahead seems unclear. Just as Noah prepared for the flood, we are also called to prepare and act responsibly in times of crisis. After the waters have covered the earth for 150 days, Genesis 8 tells of the gradual receding of the floodwaters. God remembers Noah, and the waters begin to subside. Eventually, the ark comes to rest on Mount Ararat. Noah sends out a raven, and later a dove, to check if the earth has dried. When the dove returns with an olive leaf, Noah knows that the floodwaters have abated. Noah and his family leave the ark, and he offers sacrifices to God in gratitude for their survival. God is pleased and makes a promise: never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. Genesis 8 verse 21. God promises not to destroy all life again by a flood. This chapter underscores the theme of renewal and hope after destruction. The flood, while devastating, was not the end. It was a moment of cleansing and renewal. The olive leaf brought by the dove is a powerful symbol of hope and peace, signifying that new life can emerge after devastation. This message of renewal and hope is highly relevant. We face global crises such as climate change, social unrest, and widespread inequality. These challenges can feel overwhelming, much like the floodwaters of Noah's time. However, we are reminded that hope can emerge from chaos. There is always the potential for renewal, and with it, the opportunity to rebuild a better, more just world. Genesis 9 is where God makes a covenant with Noah and all of humanity. God blesses Noah and his family, commanding them to be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth. Genesis 9 verse 1. God gives humans dominion over all creatures and reiterates that life is sacred, instituting laws against shedding blood. The most significant part of this chapter is God's promise, symbolized by the rainbow: I establish my covenant with you, never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. Genesis 9 verse 11. The rainbow becomes a sign of this covenant, a reminder of God's promise to never destroy the earth by flood again. This covenant is significant because it represents a shift in the relationship between God and humanity. While the flood was a response to humanity's wickedness, God now establishes a promise of grace and mercy. Humanity's inherent flaws are acknowledged, but rather than punishment, God offers protection. In the present world, the covenant with Noah offers a message of responsibility. God gives humans dominion over the earth and its creatures, which includes the responsibility to care for and protect creation. This is particularly relevant in today's context of environmental degradation and climate change. The rainbow, as a symbol of God's promise, can serve as a reminder of our duty to steward the earth responsibly. Additionally, the concept of a covenant between God and humanity highlights the importance of relationships built on trust and accountability. In a world where social, political, and economic systems are often fractured, the idea of covenant can inspire a sense of collective responsibility toward one another. As I conclude, let me look at how these passages affect us and the world around us. Noah's obedience and faith in following God's instructions without hesitation is a powerful lesson for today's society. In a world filled with uncertainty, whether it's economic instability, political conflict, or personal challenges, having faith and being prepared are essential. Just as Noah built the ark in anticipation of the flood, we too must prepare for the challenges of our time, whether that means planning for natural disasters or building resilience in the face of adversity. Looking at the image of the dove returning with the olive branch is one of the most enduring symbols of hope. After the floodwaters recede, life begins to flourish again, and Noah's family is given the chance to rebuild. This idea of hope and renewal is crucial in today's world. We live in a time of great uncertainty and upheaval, but the story of the flood reminds us that new beginnings are always possible. Whether it's recovering from an unfulfilling relationship, loss of a loved one, or rebuilding communities after disasters, hope is a driving force for positive change. God's command to Noah to respect the sanctity of life and the covenant he makes with all living creatures emphasizes the importance of human responsibility. This is particularly relevant where issues like social justice, inequality, and human rights are at the forefront. Genesis 9 reminds us that all life is sacred, and as stewards of the earth, we are called to act with justice and compassion. Finally, the covenant between God and Noah can be seen as a model for relationships built on trust, responsibility, and accountability. The idea of covenant reminds us that we are all interconnected and have a responsibility to each other and to the world we inhabit. As can be seen, the flood was not the end, but a new beginning. And it represented both a trial and an opportunity for renewal. In today's world, these themes of faith, responsibility, and hope remain as relevant as ever. Whether we are facing any type of challenges, social injustices, or personal trials, the lessons of Genesis 7-9 remind us that, even after the storm, there is always the promise of renewal and a brighter future. Thank you. And make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and press that notification button.